Oh, hello, hello, mic check, mic check. Oh, indeed, we are live. Welcome everyone back into Crypto's News. It's a pleasure to be back with you. How have you guys been doing? I hope you're doing good. I think it's an exciting time to be in crypto. Sometimes, well, almost like every time when the market is really up there, really high up there, I feel like suddenly people come into money. People are like, wow, I have a will, that an inheritance. Wow, I have retirement money that came out of nowhere. Wow, I made a crazy investment. And I want to put some money into crypto. Hey, crypto. Hey, Omar, where do I park my money? But they do it like the week of the top. That's when I get the most calls. That's when suddenly I can be like an investment manager. And it's always around that time that I most feel like telling people run away. No, do not get into this asset class right now. First of all, you seem to be approaching it from the wrong mentality. Like you don't even understand this thing. You just want to throw money in because you've probably heard everybody talking about it around you. And it's the absolute worst time to be getting into it. And I can feel this now after having been through a few cycles, and I'm sure many of you guys can as well, where you know how embarrassing it is to tell people, hey, maybe you should get some crypto right along the top or as prices are climbing. You feel much better when the prices are lower about advising people, hey, maybe it's a good time to be taking a stake in this. And I know personally, that's how I felt throughout this whole cycle. I barely recommended crypto to anyone. It felt like in 2020, 2021. Yeah, I was doing videos, but I was not telling people to buy. I was not like, oh, you should be parking all of your money inside of crypto. I think if you distrust fiat, you should be holding crypto primarily. No, but I did say it's that kind of thing back in 2016, 2017, because that's actually how I do continue to think. I think that fiat will eventually fail, and there are going to be plenty of people who are going to be stuck holding those bags. So why not keep your wealth in something that will survive that system? Crypto. Earn money at work, put most of it into crypto. Keep some in cash to pay the bills, what you got to do to survive. It just seems like a no-brainer to me. Seemed like a no-brainer to me. If I had a shit ton of money, which I don't, but if I had a shit ton of money, it would be primarily in crypto. And then I would have just some spending cash, right? I think I would be scared, honestly, if I came into a huge amount of cash and it was primarily in cash. I mean, you're losing money to inflation. What are you crying about, Wallace? You lost something? He's in tears. I don't know what's going on. He's back here. Can you guys see Wallace? Whatever. He's back there. He's back there. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know how people can like not have money in crypto if they really understand it, especially when you're at the bottom, when you're at these levels, when you've had all this really crappy news that's come out, all these terrible bankruptcies, people losing money in Celsius, people losing money at FTX, markets crashing, falling for the first time ever in Bitcoin's history, below even the old all-time high, like another cycle's all-time high, falling below 20,000 bucks. Just like almost there's no such thing as an absolute buy signal, but for me, it's just like I definitely feel like accruing more of it, especially when it feels like the trend has changed. If you're not just like some dollar cost investor, which by the way tend to be how most people make the best returns, is to just invest a set amount every single week, no matter what, every single month, invest that amount consistently. There's so many ways to do that through Swan Bitcoin, through Coinbase, you name it. You set up some automatic buys, bada bing, bada boom. And then you don't think about it. You work, you're saving money in crypto, you wait a few cycles, then you can go ahead and take a poop on the desk, as they say, at work, and then you're free. That's what theoretically it should be. But anyway, if you're not one of those, I think that the other good thing is to become aware of the trend change. Just become aware of when it looks like prices are heading down. When the news, it's like no good news can boost the price up, and bad news just continues to smash it. Probably in a bear market, regardless of what everyone says. I think you have to have like your own feeling of what all this means. To you personally, and you get that through experience and a lot of pain. But at the reverse as well, when the bad news happens and it doesn't really impact prices very much to the downside, maybe like a healthy correction, but like the good news pumps things a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's a bull market. Maybe things have changed. And if you're able to become really in tune with that when that change happens from the switch from the bear market to the bull market, that is the time of maximum opportunity. And you want to not fight the trend. I think that's a good thing if you're not going to be dollar cost average investing pretty much, is just don't fight the trend. If you're going to be trying to short in a bull market, you're going to get wrecked. If you're trying to go long in a bear market, it's going to be pretty rough for you. So anyway, I am of the belief, and this is my opinion, maybe you have the same, that we're in a bull market. Looking at everything that I'm looking at the attacks from the Biden administration, calling up their friends at the SEC. Hey, let's coordinate this attack, like the Bogdanovs. That's what they're called, right? Send it, sell it, pamp it. Let's wreck this thing. Let's destroy this thing. Let's coordinate efforts to just smash, because crypto is making us look bad at the Fed. Prices, we're supposed to be hiking, but crypto's still going up. It doesn't make any sense. Smash them. Let's teach these people who's the real boss, all right? Who's got the pyramid on the currency? It's us, all right? Anyway, it's a long-winded way of saying I'm feeling pretty bullish, and I think for me, it seems like a good time to be involved with these markets. Thanks for sticking around, guys. You don't want to poop on the desk before the dollar cost average. You're going to have a bad time. Yeah, generally, I think pooping on the desk has not worked out really well. It's like, basically crypto seems to conspire against you. You sell something, it pumps the next day. You poop on the desk, suddenly everyone at that job gets a raise. Unfortunately, like I'm hearing stories about folks like, oh man, I had a 3% raise last year, but I'm still wrecked because inflation is up 6.4% year over year. Yeah, you're wrecked. Yeah, the dollar is going to wreck everyone. I mean, that's just a trajectory. You think that everyone can enjoy the 1950s American dream, right? It's a dream because you have to be asleep to believe it. Mr. Carlin said that one. Yeah, you guys already know that's an absolute joke. So we have to make our own way, and I think cryptos are really the only way. It'll become exceedingly clear why it's important to have a limited amount of Bitcoin, and it's nice to have that hard-coded and transparent, and why it's great to see Ethereum burning so much. I think these things will become extremely apparent, and if you wanted to just believe some other nonsense or not believe in I guess there's theories. They're not super laws, economic theories of supply and demand, but they seem to work. They seem to make a lot of sense, right? Less of something, a lot of demand, it goes up in value. Has utility like many of these things do. They go up in value. You missed that, then I'm sorry. You had every opportunity over the last period of time to at least take some sort of protection from the fiat sinking boat. But anyway, hey guys. We're going to get into some quick news. I just wanted to update you guys today. And thank you for those of you who are just joining us here. It's my birthday. I didn't want to take a long time doing this video, so I figured I'd just catch you up on some of the main points that are going on today. And just high five you guys if you're still around. I appreciate you. Thanks for the support. So let's get into it. So here is the prices. Let's go ahead and refresh on CoinGecko. You have Bitcoin. Oh, wow. It just crossed $24,000 right here live. It's at $24,025.91, up 8.3% over the last 24 hours. That's what I'm talking about. You're going to attack crypto? Let's pump this thing. Let's show them who's really boss. Over the last 7 days, up 3.2%. You have Ethereum up 6.8% over the last 24 hours, $1,662. It's not $1,557, but I'm not mad at it. Looks like we get kind of vertical there. It's just hard. Crypto wants to climb right now. It seems like that is where the momentum is going. I struggle to see what kind of really, really terrible news could happen right now that could really crash this whole thing. I feel like even if Mt. Gox's creditors right now were all giving back their Bitcoin, I feel like that probably would not lead to much. Cross my fingers, knock on wood. Fake wood, probably. I don't even know if this is real wood. We don't make things. We used to make steel in this country. Anyway, you guys get where I'm saying. I just, it feels like everyone would be better to actually believe in this thing, be buying back in. That's where the trajectory seems to be going. So we've hiked I mean, I doubt that they're going to be able to get to 10% interest rates. We've already gotten to over 5%. We're around 5% right now interest rates. Probably a lot of the pain that is to come has happened. I don't know what the future holds, of course, but to me, this is a market that wants to climb. And we just realistically stand in a scenario right now where there's more money, more debt in the world that exists. And I guess a bigger group of cohorts, and I firmly believe this to be true over time this happens, bigger believers in crypto and understanding it. And what the diamond hands, the people who are never going to sell it, the amount of those people just continues to go up over time. The amount of people invested in crypto. I heard something recently, and I don't know that this is actually true, but it could be since so many people sell during a bear market, that only 5% of the world is invested in cryptocurrency right now. And that's not even saying like 90% of their wealth. So this thing has a lot of room for growth. And so this just seems like number go up. It's possibly going to be going up a lot higher if you're able to hang on here through all the crazy volatility. But I don't need to tell you guys who are around during the bear market. Everybody will show up again in the bull market. We'll get some new subscribers. Prices will be much higher, but it's not going to be the time of maximum opportunity for sure. Eric Crown had this to say. I think this summed up some of what happened with yesterday with the prices, because you remember I did a video 2 days ago and I said, oh, look, I mean, it's in the title, right? Why I think why prices could be going up tomorrow, and the prices did go up, but not for the exact reasons that I thought, because they were basically changing the way that inflation is calculated, the CPI here, from looking at the last 2 years and looking at the prices, how they climbed over that period, to instead making it 1 year to make it look like inflation is not that bad. But it turns out that inflation was worse than was expected to be at 6.4% again over the last year. So still quite up there, but still, despite that was maybe supposed to be bad news, market went up. So it doesn't really make much sense. You think higher inflation, Fed might be more aggressive with their wording. Oh, they won't be able to reverse course. Prices go down. Higher than expected inflation, market still went up. This is bull market stuff. This is what I'm talking about. So that's why Eric Crown did this poll. If you had yesterday's CPI print in advance, would you have made money trading that day? No. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Even if you think something might happen, the market could very well trade against you. Nothing really makes sense, except holding some crypto for me. Okay, so just really quickly going to go through the news here. It's my birthday, so I did want to enjoy it with some family time, and I got to go buy some plátanos, some plantains. And I just, of course, wanted to catch you up. However, it looks like Celsius creditors, the committee for creditors for Celsius, are suing the old CEO, Mashinsky, the former CEO, Alex Mashinsky. His wife is getting sued, Christine Mashinsky. There's a huge document, 154 pages, talking about the different executives and how terribly and fraudulently they ran at Celsius before it eventually went bankrupt. And this is possibly going to lead to them having maybe even criminal charges, and at the very least potentially clawbacks, so they have to give back money that in some cases they might have made off of the back of investors. I mean, like, you can see Alex Mashinsky a week before Celsius went under, or even days before, urging people to invest their money in Celsius, that Celsius is perfectly fine, that everything that you were hearing about Celsius potentially being insolvent, being absolute FUD, he lied to the last moment. So anyway, all this is detailed in more detail in this. I'll post it on Stretto, but you can check it out here. The committee has been actively investigating the debtors and the actions of their current and former directors, officers, and employees for the last 6 months. During that time, the committee has reviewed tens of thousands of documents and, in cooperation with the examiner, conducted more than 25 interviews with current and former employees of the debtors. The committee has also spoken with many victims that have been affected by the actions of the debtors' former directors and officers. The committee's investigation has uncovered significant claims and causes of action based on fraud, recklessness, gross mismanagement, and self-interested conduct by the debtors, former directors, and officers. Some of these individuals that they're recommending actions against include Alexander Mashinsky, the co-founder, director, and former CEO of Celsius; Shlomi Daniel Leon, the co-founder, director, and former chief strategy officer and chief operating officer of Celsius; Hanak Nuke, Goldstein, the co-founder and former chief technology officer of Celsius. Harumi Urata Thompson, the former CFO, the chief financial officer and chief investment officer of Celsius. Jeremy Boot. I'm going to say their names because some of these people deserve to be shamed, I think, publicly for some of, even if you work at a criminal organization, if you don't say something, then you're complicit. If you see this going on and you say nothing, it's basically the same thing as hurting other folks. So I'm going to go ahead and say all their names and their titles just in case, and not necessarily proving guilt, but I think there's been plenty of evidence shown here and being presented here to show just how criminal these people have operated. Jeremy Beaudry, the former general counsel and chief compliance officer of Celsius. Joanne Treutler, the former head of Celsius' trading desk and person in charge of purchasing sell tokens on behalf of Celsius. Let's pump up that token value. Eliza Landes, the former vice president of lending of Celsius and spouse of Mr. Leon. Christine Meehan Mashinsky, who sells t-shirts for her local business, the spouse of Alexander Mashinsky, and entities owned by the foregoing individuals, collectively the prospective defendants. Mr. Mashinsky, Mr. Leon, Mr. Goldstein, Mr. Beaudry, Ms. Urata Thompson, and Mr. Treutler breached their fiduciary obligations to Celsius, it says here. Those parties were aware Celsius was promising its customers interest payments they could not afford and did nothing to fix the problem. They make negligent, reckless, and sometimes self-interested investments that caused Celsius to lose more than $1 billion in a single year, in a bull market, by the way. Their mismanagement, or worse, caused Celsius to lose nearly $250 million because they could not adequately account for the company's assets and liabilities. After that loss, they did not invest in or develop the company's systems to adequately fix the issue, resulting in further losses. They caused Celsius to spend hundreds of millions of dollars transferred by customers to inflate the price of Cell tokens for their direct benefit. They secretly sold tens of millions of Cell tokens or were aware of such sales as they directed Celsius to purchase the Cell tokens on public markets. They sat idly by as Mr. Mashinsky recklessly bet hundreds of millions of dollars on the movement of the cryptocurrency market. They covered up Mr. Mashinsky's repeated lies about Celsius' investment and financial condition. It's just so funny. Unbank yourself. By the way, we're like a bank. We're like just as bad, if not worse, than the banks. Finally, when it became apparent that Celsius would be required to file for bankruptcy, the prospective defendants withdrew assets from the sinking ship while actively encouraging customers to keep their assets on the Celsius platform. Hundreds of millions of dollars being withdrawn by Mashinsky and executives as they're urging people to throw their money in there. Absolutely shameful. So yeah, this is coming out. I'm sure this is going to lead to, at least I hope, some sort of clawbacks. Meaning they have to give back some of this money to make people a little bit better whole. And it could be the case that people are made not whole, but they get back some money. It looks like a deal has been struck between Celsius and Novo Wolf Digital Management. We had talked about this in regards to Tiffany Fong, the influencer who had heard about the different deals. Celsius was talking, with Bank to the Future. Novo Wolf was one of those deals where potentially they could set something up to sell the platform or the assets or whatever. So it looks like they're going to try to go with Novo Wolf, which was one of those ones that would give equity to creditors, unsecured creditors, meaning they get some sort of potential token in the future that represents a share in the future earnings of Celsius if they've managed to get their business up again. I don't think that any sort of business created by Celsius would be profitable, at least if it was consumer facing. I don't think it would be profitable at all. I mean, just the fact that they're probably going to have to pay better legal teams, better advisors to not lead them in the same kind of way, which probably is going to cost some more money, could mean a bigger hole in the pocket than how they've operated before. But anyway, point being, it looks like they're trying to get this deal through. It still has to be approved by the bankruptcy court, but it's a deal that I read elsewhere could potentially result in people getting back 70% of their assets almost if this is approved pretty soon. Unsecured creditors, as long as they didn't have a huge amount on the platform, and that number appears to be $5,000. If you had $5,000 or less on Celsius, the earn programs, etc., then you would get 70% back immediately in crypto assets. But other people would get equity. So if you had more than $5,000 and you get tokens that represent a share in Celsius's future profits, which to me is a terrible deal. This whole thing sounds like a terrible deal. But time is running out, because the longer this gets delayed, the more money goes into the pockets of people dealing with this bankruptcy, executives, etc., lawyers who are siphoning this money away, and that 70% becomes 65%, 60%, 55%, 50%. Wow, you get pennies on the dollar ultimately. So hopefully this does get resolved so that people get some money back. And the longer this takes, I'm hearing it could result more likely in the crypto assets being liquidated entirely and people just getting back cash, which would kind of suck, because I mean, if you're only going to get 70% back, maybe crypto rises like, I don't know, 5 trillion percent. I'm being facetious on purpose, so you guys don't say I'm giving you investment advice. I hope that's clear. But anyway, if crypto rises many, many percents and multiples, and you were forced into hodling, maybe you would have sold that crypto, but you get back that crypto, it ends up maybe even being more than what you lost at Celsius because it climbed so much. I think that would be a best case scenario, but that's the one I think we can most hold out for, rather than them selling for cash, which again is inflating at huge rates, and that's what you get back eventually, and not even 100% of that, which would be, I think, the worst deals of all times, depending what crap crypto token they would give you back if you were holding something weird on Celsius. Anyway, that's the Celsius drama, to cover you up on that. And there's just some situations surrounding Sam Bankman-Fried. Just going to quickly gloss this over, because the main thing I did want to talk about was Celsius there, was that it turns out two of the co-signers of the bond that got Sam Bankman-Fried released from jail, it turns out those were unsealed. He didn't put forth a petition to keep it private who those who backed his $250 million bond were, but it looks like it was Stanford University's Andreas Pepke and Larry Kramer. Andreas put up $200,000 and Larry Kramer put up $500,000. Both are Stanford. Pepke is a senior research scientist, while Larry Kramer is a former dean of Stanford Law School. We know that Sam Bankman-Fried is deeply in bed with them. His parents teach at frickin' Stanford Law School. And according to a statement here that was given to CoinDesk from Larry Kramer, he said why he put up bail. Joe Bankman and Barbara Fried, so the parents of Sam Bankman-Fried, have been close friends of my wife and I since the mid-1990s. During the past 2 years, while my wife faced a harrowing battle with cancer, they have been the truest of friends, bringing food, providing moral support, and frequently stepping in at a moment's notice to help. In turn, we have sought to support them as they face their own crisis. My actions are in my personal capacity, he said, and I have no business dealings or interest in this matter other than to help our loyal and steadfast friends. Nor do I have any comment or position regarding the substance of the legal matter itself, which is what the trial will be for. Surely that spun a little bit to sound nicer, because the guy, let's face it, he's a dean of a law school, or he was former dean of a law school. He knows how to word things properly. And the other guy, Andreas Pepke, did not give a statement to CoinDesk as to why he put up for bail. So yeah, that's in the news right now, so you know what's up. And also this came out actually yesterday, in the evening it started to come out, that SBF is forbidden from using VPNs, which can hide your IP address, can hide your location. He said he used VPNs to watch the Super Bowl, but it's kind of suspicious. I mean, the guy's already on bond, but now he's using VPNs. He's been banned from using Signal and encrypted messaging apps, so it seems clear why they would want him to ban him from using VPNs to navigate his way through the internet. The guy's been quite shady. So anyway, it seems that VPNs present many of the same risks as these encrypted messaging platforms, so he's being banned from using VPNs as well. Wow. Big whoop. Anyway, we'll finish with the quote of the day. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. I hope you have appreciated the updates, and feeling positive here. I hope you guys are as well. Here's the quote of the day by Mother Teresa. I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples. Thanks for helping me here with these ripples, guys, and I think the important work that we're doing by spreading the message, the gospel of Satoshi and Vitalik Buterin. Take care, much love, and stay cryptic. Peace.